Hey fam, sometimes you realize that there are some lessons that you would not learn except you're in a place where you're forced to learn those lessons. So today we're talking about a few lessons that I learned in my first moment. So let's get right into it. Hey fam, how are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tobi Achudume. If this is your first time here, you are super welcome. I'm so excited to have you here with me. So here we talk about topics, tips and tricks that would help us grow fearlessly into the best versions of ourselves. So today's video is kind of like a gist chit chat video where I just share with you lessons I got from the period of lockdown where we had nowhere to go and anything and everything you had to do was done in the comfort of your home. So today I'll be sharing with you a few lessons that I learned or realized in this period. So stay tuned. So the first thing I learned in this period in the last 4 months is that there is a difference between loneliness and aloneness. Though both words come from the same word, they mean different things, and I kind of realized this in this period. So I'm not going to give definitions to what loneliness and aloneness is, but for context, I'm going to say loneliness is a negative feeling and aloneness is positive, in the sense that it is in aloneness that you get new ideas, new thoughts, new calls of action or call to actions. It is in aloneness that you're able to think, meditate, reflect, kind of put things in perspectives, and not in loneliness. So it is in aloneness that you're able to birth new ideas, new thoughts, new principles, concepts, things that will just come in your mind or in your head to do. You most definitely will come up with these new concepts and new ideas in a place or a season of aloneness, because there is no distraction, there is nothing that is coming in between you doing what you want to do when you want to do it. So you're in a state of aloneness, and it is there that you're becoming and you're growing and grooming yourself to be what you want to see in the future. It is also there that you birth new ideas, new concepts and new strategies that you'd use to better your life or better your future. It is so amazing how much newness or new things or new ideas will come out from your place or moment of aloneness. Sometimes you don't even know that you have these things in you, but because you're in a state of aloneness, because you are alone in a phase, in a season or in a moment, you realize new and different strategies or aspects of things that you can do. So the second thing I learned or realized in this period is that being your best friend, being your number one biggest fan is definitely underrated. And this is because as humans, we are social beings, so we like to interact with other people. So we see these other relationships as sometimes more important than our relationship with ourselves. But what we realized in the lockdown period is that, especially for some or those of us that lives alone, the only person that you're with all the time is yourself. So if you cannot stand your presence, if you cannot stand yourself, it would definitely have been very difficult to go through those moments alone, being alone in your house, doing things by yourself, and the only form of communication you could have with other people would be on the phone. And so for that reason, I feel like being your friend is definitely underrated. Being your biggest fan is underrated. And it is something that we definitely need to do better. We definitely need to build our relationships and be more comfortable with being by ourselves more often, because it is only you, the only person that you're with all the time, the only person that you're with 100% of the time, including when you're with friends and family, is yourself. So we should get comfortable with being with ourselves and being our friends, in the sense that if nobody's going to validate you, if nobody's going to tell you that what you're doing is great, you can tell yourself that and feel good about it. You can tell yourself that you look good, you look beautiful, your ideas make sense by yourself, and you feel good about it because you have told yourself that. And very closely related to this is the practice of self-love. Now, self-love is completely different from being selfish, but self-love is appreciating yourself as much as you're appreciating others. And I have a full video of self-love. I'll leave it in the description box below, and I'll also link it somewhere in the video, so you should definitely check that out. But we need to be comfortable also with practicing self-love and letting ourselves know that we are important to ourselves, our thoughts matters to ourselves, and our validation for ourselves and by ourselves matter. Another thing I learned and realized in this period was that if you actually set your mind to do something and you are disciplined about it, you will definitely do it. Most times you kind of give the excuse of there is no time or we are occupied with so many things, and I'll get to that shortly. But if you set your mind to do something, if you set your mind to achieve something and you're dedicated to it, you are going to do it. So I'll use myself as an example. Prior to the lockdown and quarantine period, I would go for a run or any form of exercise that I could do at least or at most twice a week. I tried to be active, and I'm not doing exercise because I'm trying to lose weight, but to be fit, to be healthy. And so before the lockdown, I'll do at most twice a week. But because of the lockdown where there was no movement, you were not going anywhere, so you were not physically active all the time, I had to up my game and be more active with exercising. And so because I put my mind to doing that consistently, so I was able to stick to my goal of exercising at least or at most 5 times a week during the lockdown period, because that was the only form of physical activity that I could do aside from going for a walk. And this was a big feat for me because like exercising is not my strong point, but I was able to stick to it because I set my mind to do it at least 5 times a week, and I stuck to it. Now the lockdown could have been a very good excuse for me to fall off the wagon of committing to being more physically healthy, because I wasn't going anywhere and I could just be on my bed all day. But it was also an opportunity for me to fix and set my mind on doing the right thing and help my health. And so even coming out of the lockdown, I've still committed myself and been able to stick to the new habit of exercising more regularly than I used to. And now to the topic of time. Another thing I learned in this period was that there are some ideas or there are some tasks that you actually need time to be able to do. You actually need to be in a state or in a space of you're not doing anything else to be able to totally commit to and accomplish. And I say this because before lockdown, most people were going to work, they had other activities that they were doing, and this would definitely take time out of doing other things that you'd have planned to do. But with the lockdown, you would realize that there are some ideas that just came out of nowhere in this period. People came up with different ideas. And so from that, I kind of realized that aside from being able to schedule your time to be able to accommodate all that you want to do for yourself and for your job, sometimes the ideas that you have, you need to have the time of not doing any other thing aside from that for it to be completely accomplished and successful. But this is still not an excuse for you to not work on your goal. You can start working on it and then you take time off to completely focus on it for a particular period or season of life. And the final thing I will be touching today, which is more of a less serious lesson, is that I don't have to eat out all the time. So prior to the lockdown again, I kind of got used to eating out, I think at least maybe twice a week, and I would do that because when I'm coming back from work, in my mind I'm already thinking I'm too tired to cook or I'm too tired to figure out what I'm going to eat, so it will just be easier to buy something. And I know that this is common for most people. Sometimes you just think of the stress that it takes to cook or to prepare meal, and this is where I would mention that meal prepping actually saves life. It saves time and it saves effort. But that aside, so with this lockdown, I kind of realized that I don't have to eat out, and I eat out because I want to, not because I need to. So there's a difference between what you need and what you want, obviously. So this period, I kind of just realized that my eating out was because I wanted to eat out. It was not because I would not survive if I did not eat out. And I'm not in any way saying I'm not going to be eating out or buying food from outside. I'm just saying that now I know or realize that it's not a have to, but it's a want to. I want to eat out, not that I have to eat out. So these were the few lessons that I kind of learned in the lockdown period, and I'm interested to see what you learned when you were on lockdown. What were the things that you realized? What were the things that you did that you did not used to do? Did you come up with new ideas, concepts? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed gisting with you about what I learned in my lockdown period. I'm interested to see what you learned in your lockdown period. Please share with me in the comment section. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, share with your friends and family, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.